Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Davis, and I'm really thrilled to be here today with a very special person. Callie Pivano has quite a story to tell. I'm with Environmental Health Trust. We're working on trying to make the world safer with modern technology, and Callie is a living example and a warning to all of us of what we need to be aware of. Callie, please tell us your story.
In November of 2016, I was diagnosed with a stage 3 sarcoma in my left thigh. I've since developed 5 more tumors. The most recent one is an inoperable tumor in my heart. I didn't realize right away, but as I did research, after I learned that my tumor could have been caused by radiation exposure, I learned that I had exposed myself to microwave radiation that was emitted from my laptop because I worked with my laptop on the very same place on my thigh where the first tumor was formed. That information was devastating to me. I cried, I got angry, I wanted to scream and yell at our government for allowing these devices to be out there and not have any warning labels telling us how to safely use these devices. Had I known, I would probably be running right now. So it was very upsetting to me, and that's when I knew this can't happen to anyone else, especially a child. So that started my mission on creating awareness about this. Last January, 2019, I gave a TED Talk speech on this, and on my way to the theater where the talk was being held, I received a phone call from a doctor from Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia, and she called because I had seen her the week before, and she had given me some information, and I wasn't sure if I interpreted it correctly. So I left her a message because she had told me, you have 12 to 24 months. And I called her, and ironically, she called me as we were on our way to the theater. And I told her, I said, I'm so sorry, I just need some clarification. Are you talking about it could be 12 to 24 months before another tumor develops, or is that my prognosis? And she said, no, that's your prognosis. And immediately my husband said, let's turn around, let's go home, because it was upsetting. And I said, no, we're not turning around. This gives me more fuel to get up on that stage and speak. So sure enough, I guess she was almost right about it, because 12 months later, I ended up in the hospital, and I had learned I had undergone like a week of intense migraine headaches. And my doctor said, you know, let's get a brain MRI. I'm sure you're okay, but given your history, let's check it out. And 2 days after Christmas, December 27th, I remember it clear as day, got a phone call from my doctor telling me, you have to get to the ER stat. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel fine. He's like, I said, I'm not going. He said, you don't understand. You've had 2 strokes. And I was blown away. And we went to the hospital. I didn't even pack a bag. I didn't even bring my phone charger because I thought they're wrong. It's impossible. So I get there and I learned, yes, I did have 2 strokes. One in the front lobe in my right side of my brain and the left parietal. And what they told me was the fact that I had it in 2 separate parts of my brain indicated that there could be a tumor in my heart. I underwent some really intensive tests, a transesophageal echocardiogram where they put a camera down your throat, a cardiac MRI, CT scans, and it confirmed that, yes, I have a tumor. It's inoperable. It's in my heart. It's wrapped around my bowels, so they can't touch it. That was devastating. I went into the hospital in denial, and I came home on hospice, with hospice here waiting for me with a wheelchair and an oxygen tank. And they told me, they put me on Xanax 24/7 to keep me calm. And they told me, you could go at any minute. a piece of that tumor could break off at any time, travel to your lung. I mean, even right now it could happen, but it's still hard to believe. So I, lived in fear. And then after a few weeks, I just said, I can't live like a zombie. I can't be on Xanax 24/7. That's not me. So I stopped that. And then I called hospice. I said, get the wheelchair out of here, get the oxygen tank out of here. I am not ready for that yet. And I was discharged on January 5th. And everything I did at that point in time, even driving home, thinking to myself, this is the last time I'll ever be on this road. This is the last time I may ever have this meal. This may be the last time for this or that. And I've stopped because that's not an option. I do believe that miracles can happen, and I really do need one. But I'm here. And the irony is I had called one of the doctors about a month ago because I had a question. And he was like, I'm so surprised to hear from you. And I said, you thought I was dead, didn't you? And he just got quiet. So I'm still here. And that tells me, as Dr. Davis said, I believe that there's a reason for everything. And hopefully God has a plan. And my intention is to use the time that I have to embrace my family and to get this message out there. I'm getting chills as I talk about it right now, but there are things such as radical remission, so I'm hopeful, for that. I could be that 1%, and that's how I have to live. And on the flip side of the coin, when it's my time, it's my time. It's if God wants, when it's your time, it's, that's it. And I'm preparing myself mentally for that. I'm not ready to go yet, but I don't want to go, but I'm at peace with it. And I know I have more work to do. And I really believe the fact that I have this urgency to get this message out, and I'm really trying, working on my blog, I know that that's keeping me going, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not. I'm. If I can help someone, if I can educate someone, I'll do whatever I can, to get it done and make people aware while I'm here and while I'm physically still able.
So if you had a chance to do a 30-second commercial, and you could say to young parents today what you want them to know, what would you say?
Protect your children. Our children rely on us. They rely on us for their safety. They're, entrusted in our care. And my advice to them would be, turn off the Wi-Fi, put it in airplane mode, protect your child. We adults have only started using cell phones, for the last maybe 20, 25 years. But these children are being exposed to this radiation from, 1 or 2 years of age. We don't know what the impact of that is yet. We do know that there are increases in gliomas of the brain. We are seeing evidence of more people getting cancer as a result. But my advice would be, turn off the airplane mode and take a look. Go onto the American Academy of Pediatrics website, if nothing else, and you will see their warning.
But they're only tested to avoid heating for a 6-minute phone call. How many hours or how many minutes a day did you have your laptop on your thigh?
Hours.
You had your laptop on your thigh for hours, and the tumor developed over what period of time?
Yeah, you know what, Dr. Davis, I can't say exactly for sure, because unfortunately I didn't realize that something was going on until it was already that big, because it was deep in the muscle. I'd have to say at least a year of daily, right on top of my thigh, daily, every day, a minimum of 2 hours daily. So I can't say for sure how long, because we didn't determine, I didn't find that right away.
So for how many years did you use a laptop on your thigh. And tell me, like, what sorts of places would you be when you were having it on your thigh?
Working
Okay. And what,
at home, and a lot of times I would be working at home, you know, and then you come home and you go on your laptop, and often I would just sit with my laptop, you know, I'd have it on my lap, whether I'm sitting on the couch at home or sitting up in bed, you know, doing some work from home. So I would say probably maybe 2 years, 2 to 3 years, approximately. But yes, it was every day, every day.
we found out that these tablets come with warnings that they're tested and they should be used really 8 inches off the body. Do you remember where you were and how you felt when you found that out?
This is my office. I was in this room, and I cried. I'm getting emotional right now. I got so upset. I lost the ability to run, and now I'm fighting for my life. I may not look like it, and I'm having a good day, but I'm dealing with an inoperable tumor that metastasized to my heart. So my first reaction was I just cried. And then I got so angry. How could they do this to me? How could this happen? How could we let this happen to anyone else? It just, it was hard for me to digest that. I mean, for God's sakes, it's called a laptop. I didn't know you're not supposed to put it on your lap. Who does?
I'm deeply sorry that you have gone through this, but I salute your courage and your bravery for sharing your story, because it's an inspiration to me, and it's really an inspiration to every single person. You and I both know a month ago your doctors were not expecting you to live very long, and I think the reason you're living as long as you are is because you have important work to do, and you are saving lives just by appearing with us here today, by taking the time to do this now. It means so much to me and to every one of us who are working on this issue. We're not anti-technology, just pro-health. And we want your story to be a warning tale around the world. And Callie Pivano, it will be a warning tale around the world. The world now understands we have one planet, we have to do a better job of taking care of it, and we only have one shot at taking care of our children. And we need to understand that we have been exposing them to an agent that many different independent tests show can cause cancer and other damage to the nervous system, particularly the developing nervous system of the young child. If people do not know enough to look at the hidden warnings and the testing that is done on phones, unfortunately, their lives can be forever changed, as yours has been. But while you may not be running on the streets anymore, you are running all over the internet and running more broadly and more places than you could ever have imagined you're going to reach. And we're going to help you run around the world.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, please.
I get
emotional. Tell us a bit about the blog that you've written, because we want to share that as well.
Well, thank you. I'm working on a blog. It's not finished yet, but it is live, so anyone can go to it. It is cancerwarriorgirl.com. I'm posting. I've been keeping journals always, but I'm documenting journals from the get-go, from my first diagnosis. And I also have a page where I'm going to be putting information about educating people about mobile device radiation and the possible link between that and cancer. I did try to reach out to local legislative officials, didn't get anywhere. It's kind of on the back burner. It's not their priority. So then I thought, you know what, I'll do it. I'll help. You know, I'll try do it on my own, just as you are. So I'm still working on that. It gives me a reason. It gives me a purpose. I have a reason to get out of bed every day, but this is giving me a purpose, the blog. So it's a work in progress. It should have been done a while ago. It's just I have good days and bad, so I get sidelined sometimes. just as there are warnings on a pack of cigarettes, they should be placed on mobile devices as well. It's not to scare everyone. We're not saying don't use these devices, throw them away. We're just saying use them wisely. Put it in airplane mode if you're going to allow your child to play a game on it. I think every time I see a child in a stroller with a tablet on their lap, I cringe. And now I have no problem. I go up to the parents. I speak to everyone that I come in contact with, and just, hey, by the way, if you happen to know of anyone with children, please make sure you're putting your device on airplane mode. If you have children yourselves, please do that. And there's not enough time in that quick interaction to say, oh, by the way, don't put it in your bra, don't sleep with it under your pillow. But there is so much information that needs to be heard about this and how to safely use these devices. I only wish that I had known. If I had known, I never, ever, ever would have taken the chance by placing this laptop on my thigh. Never. I reached out to my Congressman Chris Smith. I reached out to Senator Vin Gopal, and they're busy. I did reach out. Those are local ones here, and I've tried emailing and calling and contacting Blumenthal, Senator Blumenthal in Connecticut, and anyone that would listen. And I just feel, doctor, that if I can make one person aware, I say this is what I tell everyone, if I can educate one person, then what I have gone through with this cancer, my body looks like a roadmap, then that will not have been in vain. And I call these my battle scars in my lungs and my heart, my legs, my back. So it's not a waste if I can help educate someone.
Let me ask you, if you could speak directly to Senator Schumer and Senator Gillibrand, what would you say right now that you want them to do?
They have the power, at least they have more power than I do as a layman. I would ask them to use that power to create awareness by creating legislature that would require prominently displayed warnings. That's it. I'm not asking for anything more, anything crazy. Just, I want them to be involved in creating warnings, as I said, just as they are on a pack of cigarettes. That's all I'm asking for. And to better educate other people with that.
By any chance, did you hear that there was an FDA report that said that we could ignore the National Toxicology Program and that cell phones are actually safe? A very recent report?
Yeah, don't get me, I get very upset. You can't poo-poo something like this. You can't just sweep it under the rug. Not when people are dying, and we're not talking about, we're talking about young people as well. So yes, that upsets me. It's not something to be taken lightly at all.
Not only did the FDA put out a report saying there's no association between cell phone radiation and cancer, and discounting our largest animal study ever done in the United States, but they also updated all their web pages, which are for the regular people. They renamed pages "Scientific Evidence of Cell Phone Safety," and they discount any reason that we should reduce exposure. On all of their web pages, they have been completely rewritten. So now when the American people want to go find out what's going on, they go to the FDA, and it would make you feel like, oh, no reason to worry. There's no association and no problem.
That upsets me, that the FDA is saying that there is nothing to worry about. They are creating, by doing this, so much misinformation, and which could lead to more deaths from cancer from these devices. So it is a true disservice. I had to undergo radiation twice, 35 rounds, on separate occasions. And I spoke with my radiation oncologist, and I asked him, do you think that it was possible that my laptop could have caused this? And he said to me, he said, Callie, I can't say to you conclusively 100% because I didn't have the opportunity to test you at the very beginning or do types of tests like that. But being a radiation oncologist, he told me he has no doubt that had a very big impact on my cancer and could have caused it. So that was, it was eye-opening. And as I said, it's upsetting, but we have to, I can't sit here and cry about myself, but I can try to help people protect their children and protect themselves. But most importantly, my first goal is to educate parents, because children rely on us. They trust us as parents to take good care of them. We're supposed to know what's best for them and do what's best for them. So my goal is for awareness first and foremost for the children, and then of course for adults and young women as well, who are placing their phones in their bras and developing breast cancer as a result. In fact, it was a show on Dr. Oz where he talked all about this. So, some people may think that, you're crazy, you're an extremist. It's not the case at all. With this virus that's going around, nobody wanted to believe it. And look what's happening now. In the 60s, they gave women DES for nausea during pregnancy, and they had children with birth defects. So, just because something is out there doesn't mean it's safe.
We completely agree with you, and we're working now to call for a retraction of this anonymous FDA report, which was most likely written by consultants for industry who also worked for the government. There's no name on this report, and it's really bizarre. And because there's so many dangerous things happening in the world today, people have not paid attention to it. But believe me, they are going to hear from you, and they're going to hear from us, that they cannot continue to sweep this under the rug, that you are the body of evidence. You are the proof of what can happen when a healthy young woman who is a runner can be struck down by a disease that she could completely have avoided if only she had seen the warnings that are buried inside these devices. So we all want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your inspiration. And now we've got some more work to do. So let's finish this video and we'll get to work next.
I am so looking forward to it. Please include, I would love to help in any way that I can. And I want to thank you as well for the awareness that you've created. It's very important what you're doing. Keep it going. Please keep it going. And thank you.
Thank you very much.